Hey everyone, my name is Chris Verger. If it's your first time on my channel, this is a follow-up to my first health video that I made on long COVID, the disease that changed my life. In today's video, I'm going to take you through my 9-month blood results that I did with a team called Biocode in Stellenbosch. They test for micro-clots in the blood, and these have been caused by the spike protein misfolding fibrin in the blood, but also injuring and damaging endothelial cells, so your blood vessels around the body. And yeah, I'm going to take you through that process. If you'd like to see my first video, I'll put the link below, and that just tells a bit of the story of how I figured out I was battling with long COVID, as well as just the journey of discovering treatments like triple therapy and how I came to start that treatment. I'll also tell in more detail about the journey of these last 10 months that I was on triple therapy. This was about a year ago, and the reason I decided to come off and start a different protocol. So yeah, I'm going to dive straight in and just show you the results of my 9-month blood draw. Okay. So I really enjoy the work that this team does, Esty, Simone, and Rezia at Biocode in Stellenbosch. Thank you, ladies. And I know there's a few other people involved, but I've been able to meet with Esty and Simone, or Simone, sorry, if that's the correct pronunciation. And yeah, really had a good chat with them. And this is the report they send you once you do this analysis. As I've mentioned in my first video on the channel, they are doing fluorescent microscopy, which is basically taking your blood draw, spinning it in a centrifuge, and then adding a fluorescent dye to that plasma, and then using a specialist microscope to detect these little clumps. So as far as I understand it, unfortunately, the spike protein from both the virus and the vaccine in certain people can cause these little clots. I imagine it's because genetically some people are predisposed to this, and unfortunately I'm one of those people. So do I believe the vaccine is involved in my case of health issues? Yes, I do. Do I believe it's the main part of my condition? No. I will say that I was still exercising post-vaccine, but post-infection of the acute virus of SARS-CoV-2, I was not exercising at my normal level. So yeah, I'm going to take you through this form, and I hope it's insightful for you. So you can see here micro-clot micrographs, and these are slides from my actual blood. And as I've just mentioned briefly, these little clumps are getting formed by the spike protein from the virus and or vaccine, and they are creating these little microclots. And also the spike protein is also damaging the endothelial lining of your blood vessels, and this leads to these little clots, and these clots create massive chaos around the body. If you think this is in every blood vessel around your body, so veins, arteries running to your heart, chest, your toes, your fingers, your brain, even your stomach, everything that carries blood will have these little clots in the blood. And unfortunately, what it does is that it causes severe fatigue and inflammation around the body. I've also had symptoms of brain fog, and thankfully I can say I'm doing a lot better this year. But at this point, May 2024, last year, about a year ago, I was really not in a good space. And at 9 months, I'd say I'd felt benefits of the blood thinning triple therapy treatment in terms of less fatigue and also better cognition. I imagine the oxygen and just nutrients was flowing a bit better around my body with the blood thinning treatment. And basically, the 10 months I did triple therapy, it's basically 3 blood thinners a day. So the idea is that it thins the blood enough that you can have a chance for your endothelial lining of your blood vessels to heal. And the reason behind this is that Jaco Loubser, the specialist that I saw, believes that what is happening is that this endothelial damage is what's causing inflammation around the body in your blood vessels, as well as these little microclots affecting oxygen transfer between the tissues. That's one of the big parts of the long COVID condition, is this severe chronic fatigue that patients experience. I believe there are similarities to ME, or myalgic encephalomyelitis, which is a chronic fatigue condition that a lot of people experience pre-pandemic. but I'm not sure of the similarities from my point of view. I'm literally just a patient sharing his journey with long COVID. So, yeah, these slides, to be honest, were quite disappointing to see. As this was the 9-month mark, and at a point where I thought, flip, I should be better by now. Like, this triple therapy has been a difficult journey, and it's quite tough on your stomach. You feel a bit sick day to day. And there's also the side effects of, severe bleeding, obviously, if you do cut yourself or nick yourself. I've had instances like that. And what I can share is that on this particular day, I was feeling a bit fluish. So I also understand there is an immune system component in long COVID and the way your immune system almost overreacts to the infection. And I think that's a big part of the condition. So I'm not sure how that affected my results here. I wouldn't say it was like the most clear control day to do a blood draw, unfortunately, because I was feeling sick. But the one thing I took from this report that was helpful is that it's showing endothelial debris here. And that's the first time I've been able to see that in a report. So that's a good sign to me because it means that my blood vessel lining is healing. So I've also, like I mentioned, had the opportunity to meet with Esty and Simone. And thankfully, they said having level 1, a lot of these little clots is actually not a bad thing necessarily. As I mentioned in my first video, which is linked below, some of these smaller little clots is quite normal in your blood as your body clots and declots to heal damage to blood vessels. But it's these big clumps that are happening with fibrin and other misfolded proteins in the blood that is causing such an issue. And the next page I'll go to is the platelet micrographs. So as I understand it, what this tests for is the platelet activation. And in these cases, you can see these clumps of platelets is what they are checking for. And that's not such a good sign because it means that there are kind of your platelets just being hyperactive, if that makes sense. And I'll still need to research and learn a bit more about how this should look in a healthy person. But I imagine that with the spike protein and everything in the blood, this misfolded fibrin, the platelets, all of these little clumps, they are just causing like endothelial damage. They're causing issues of oxygen transfer. They're causing widespread inflammation. And that's quite a difficult symptom to kind of narrow down and pinpoints to say, I'm struggling with pain, inflammation all over the body, but it's not a visible thing to someone on the outside of my skin. So even being believed that this is a condition is difficult. So one positive of these tests at the Stellenbosch University or at Biocode, that company, is that you do get to see something that's actually happening in your body, in your blood, and it's helpful from that point of view. So just to correct myself, in my first video, I thought that the positive control here was my blood. It's actually not. ST was able to confirm that these are slides from a healthy individual in the negative control page. And then the positive control, you'll see the clots are a lot bigger. And this is the misfolded fibrin, amyloid fibrin micro-clots, which are forming in patients with long COVID and post-vax issues as well. Can I say, what's the vaccine versus what's the virus clotting issues? I can't. And I don't know if they have tests yet to show antibodies of spike protein that are antibodies from the virus versus the vaccine. So that's something I'm still looking into. And yeah, that's basically my summary. In terms of the conclusion on the 10 months of blood thinning, was it helpful? Yes, very much so. I believe it gave my chance for my body a chance for my blood vessels to heal, and it significantly improved my fatigue symptoms. So day to day, I've been much more, I'd say, alert and just having more consistent energy. Do I still have flat days now and then? 100%. Post-exertional malaise is still a thing for me. I still struggle with a tight chest now and then, occasional headache. But in another video, I'm going to go through the current protocols that I'm doing as a replacement to triple therapy. So why did I stop after 10 months? I realized that the blood thing was unfortunately affecting my immune system quite a bit. One of the medications you take to line your stomach, I believe, could be interfering with absorption of minerals and nutrients. and also just blood thinning in general seems to compromise the immune system somewhat. So I just wanted to take a break for a while, and I came across a protocol called the McCullough Protocol, which I have talked about in a interview with Nick Holscher from the McCullough Foundation. So I'll link that below as well. And as you can hear, I'm quite out of breath. Day to day, I struggle a bit more than usual with asthma and a tight chest, but obviously in winter, those symptoms are a little bit exacerbated. But yeah, in conclusion, I hope this video was helpful. And in my next video, I'll be sharing a bit about the current protocol I'm doing on the McCullough Protocol. Yeah.